Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal fajr, walayalin ashr, والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية وادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات.
Ahsan, brother Shayam. Let's recite loud salawat for him again. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Before I ask Brother Meeson to start Dua Kumail, I have a pair of keys from the Sufra and a cell phone. Okay. All right. So, Brother Meeson, request Brother Meeson to start Dua Kumail. So, recite loud salawat. Allah.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء يا نور يا قدوس يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك الإسلام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعم. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك وأستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توذئني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك. اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خادع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك. اللهم لا أجد للذنوب غافرا ولا لقبائه ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك. ظلمت نفسي وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترته وكم من قادهم من البلاء قلته وكم من إثار وقيته وكم من مكروه دفعته وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرته. اللهم عظم بلائي وأفرط بسوء حالي وقصرت بي أعمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وهبسني عن نفعي بؤد مالي وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بجنايتها ومثالي. يا سيدي فأسألك بإذتك ألا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء أملي وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بإذتك لي في الأحوال رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك وخالفت بعد أوامرك فلك الحجة علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاء وألزمني حكمك وبلاؤك فقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي متذرا نادما كسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان من ولا مفزأ أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك أذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك اللهم فاقبل أذري وارحم شدة دري وفكني من شد وثاقي يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي هبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي يا إلهي وسيدي وربي يتراك معذب بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد من طوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضمير من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيء من ربيته وتبعد من أدنيته وتشرد من آويته وتسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته ولا شئري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقة وبشكرك مادحة وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققة وعلى ضمائر هبت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة وعلى جوارها سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طاعئة وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنا ما هكذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك أنك يا كريم يا ربي وأنت تعلم ضعفي أن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل مكثوه يسير بقاؤه قصير مدته فكيف احتمال لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو ولما منها أضج وأبكي لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته فلئن صيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك فهبني صبرت على هر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك وفي النار ورجاء عفوك وبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا فأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآملين لأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين ولا أبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين ولا أنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين يا غاية آمال العارفين يا غياث المستغيثين يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين ويا إله العالمين أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجنا فيها بمخالفته وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل لرحمتك ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يعمل فضلك ورحمتك أم كيف يهركه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه أم كيف يشتمل عليه ظفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه أم كيف يتقلقل بين طباقها وأنت تعلم صدقه أم كيف تزجره ذبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رباه أم كيف يرجو فضلك في إتقه منها فتتركه فيها هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك ولا المعروف من فضلك ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك وباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاهديك وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين فأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدعا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي هتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبيح أسررته وكل جهل عملته كتمته أو أعلنته أخفيته أو أظهرته، فكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني، وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي، فكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيته وبفضلك سترته، وأن توفر حظي من كل خير أنزلته أو إحسان فضلته أو بر نشرته أو رزق بسطته أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي، يا من بيده ناصيتي، يا عليما بدر مسكنتي، يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي في الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة، حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا، وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا. يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي، يا من إليه شكوت وحبالي، يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، قوي على خدمتك جوارحي واشدد على العزيمة جوانه، وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك، حتى أسرها إليك في ميادين السابقين، وأسرع إليك في البارزين، وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين، وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين، وأجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرده، ومن كادني فكده، واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة من أخصهم ظلفة لديك، فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك، وجد لي بجودك وعطف علي بمجدك، وحفظني برحمتك، واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا، وقلبي بحبك متيما، ومن علي بحسن إجابتك، فأقلني يثرتي واغفر ذلتي، فإنك قضيت على عبادك بإبادتك فأمرتهم بدعائك وضمنت لهم الإجابة، وإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي، وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي، وبعزتك استجب لدعائي، وبلغني مناي، ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي، واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي. يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء، فإنك فعال لما تشاء، يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى، ارحم الرأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء، يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقم يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام، يا عالما لا يعلم، صل على محمد وآل محمد وفعل بما أنت أهله، وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا. اللهم
That's right. Loud salawat for Brother Misa. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I would like to request Brother Ali Sabzari to recite Ziyarat Warsa.
زيارة إمام حسين عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك ورحمة الله وبركاته، السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله، السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله، السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله، السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله، السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله، السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا وارث علي أمير المؤمنين ولي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى، السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء، السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى، السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور، أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر وأطعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين، فلعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله، أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة، لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها، ولم تلبسك من مدلهمات ثيابها، وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين، وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي، وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا، وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله إني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن، بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي، وقلبي لقلبكم سلم، وأمري لأمركم متبع. صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة حضرت. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها الشهيد وابن الشهيد، السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم. لعن الله أمة قتلتك، ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. زيارة حضرت. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله. أشهد أنك قد جاهدت ونصحت وصبرت حتى أتاك اليقين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين، والحقهم بدرك الجحيم. زيارة سائر الشهداء عليه السلام. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباه. السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداه. السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي الزكي الناصح. السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي عبد الله. بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم، وفزتم فوزا عظيما، ويا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان الأمان من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Now I would like to request Brother Abbas Asif to recite Marsiya. Loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
درود پر محمد و آل محمد. مرثیہ بسلسلہ شہادت امام موسی کاظم علیہ السلام پیش خدمت ہے. سر پیٹو آج موسی جعفر ہو واش، ابن علی او ابن پیامبر ہو. غربت میں قاضی میں بے پر ہوا، لو مومنوں کا ساتھ وہاں رہبر ہوا. لو مومنوں کا ساتھ وہاں رہبر ہوا. پلوایا زیر باد شہ خاص و عام، ہارون رشید نے مارائی. ہارون رشید نے مارا. اس طرح سے بیان کروں ظلم افسوس پیٹ بھر کبھی کھانا ملا. فاقے پہ فاقہ کرتا تھا احمد کا، زندہ میں 14 سال تھے محبوب. زندہ میں 14 سال تھے محبوب. طاقت نہ تھی ذرا بھی قعود و قیام، हालत ये थी इमाम हालत ये थी इमाम दी उम्मते नबी को ना हजरत ने हर वक्त शे के लब पर रहा शुक्र हिंदी के ताजियानों की हर रोज बहता था खून जिस्म से रो हीला कल बहता था खून जिस्म से रो हीला कल ईज़ाए क़ैद ऐसी किसी ने सही बेदाद इस तरह की किसी पर बेदाद इस तरह की किसी अलक़िस्सा ज़हर आपको अंगो जिससे जनाबे मूसी काज़िम ने बाज़ों ने लिखा है ये शहादत का पिघला के शीस आपको जबरन पिघला के शीस आपको जब ऐसा कहो के हाल हुआ क्या इमाम जल कर हुआ कबाब कल है जल कर हुआ कबाब कले गुल पड़ गया के मूसी काजिम ने लाशे को ला के जिस्र पाद और चेहरे इमाम से कपड़ा दो रोज यूं ही लाश का चेहरा दो रोज यूं ही लाश का चेहरा खोला लाश बेकफन शहेब आली मकाम की तौकीर थी ये आले रसूल तौकीर थी ये आले रसूल नजदीक भाई थाना पिसर थाना भा तन्हाई में ये जुल्मों से तमाम दो रोज तक तो जिस्र पलाशा मैयत पर रोने वाला भी है कोई मैयत पर रोने वाला भी है कदमे उठा के हाय जहां से गुजर गुर्बत में काजी में जीशो गुर्बत में काजी में शिया निसार आपकी गुर्बत के गुर्बत में तुम शहीद हुए ऐशा बेजुर्म मारा आपको या शाहिका हारून ने हैफ कर दिया कामा हारून ने हैफ कर दिया काम खौफे खुदा न खौफे रसूल खुदा शम्मे हयात आपकी जालिम बुझा शम्मे हयात आपकी मिसले तमाशा देखते हैं सारे मर है ज़ेरे आफ़ताब इमाम होदा हारों का भाई लाश पर आया बसद, हजरत को अपने घर से दिया कीम, हजरत को अपने घर से दिया। काजिम के पास भेजा खुदा ने फिदा, लेकिन कफन मिला न शहे, लेकिन कफन मिला न शहे करबला। कर पीटो आज मुसीए जा पर होवा शहीद।
Jazakallah. Let's recite loud salawats for Blandir Rajat of Brother Asif and Brother Misim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Couple of quick announcements. The Jummah program will start tomorrow at 12:05 p.m. We also have Eid Mabas and Amale Shabe Mabas starting at 7 p.m. Right after Salat al-Maghrib. Tonight's sponsors for their Marhumin, Amna Sultan Binte Sulaiman Hussain Rizvi, Sayyid Zahir Hussain Zaidi, Sayyid Iqtidar Haider Naqvi, Sayyida Bilqis Fatma, for your Marhumin, for the Marhumin whose name is on the monument of Zara and for whom there is no one to recite Surah Fatiha. I would like to request Sayyid Hadi Yasin to give us say loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله، الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Our condolences on the martyrdom, shahadat of our beloved Imam Musa ibn Ja'far, Imam Qadhim alayhi salatu wassalam. First and foremost to his son, Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. And to you all followers, inshaAllah, muhibbeen and shi'ayan of Imam, inshaAllah. May Allah let us have the tawfiq to be with them in dunya and be with them in akhirah. And let us have ma'rifah towards them, able to follow their path, inshallah. In our daily life, thank you. Talk a little bit about, inshallah, the attributes of our beloved Imam. In our life, the current opportunities and the values and achievements that we have, sometimes some of us, we understand how much it took, how much effort and troubles we went through, or our family, our parents, for us to be able to be here today, be whoever we are. How many people they sacrificed How many of you guys would say, my father, my mother, my family, they sacrifice themselves for the sake of my success, which all parents they do, by the way. And sometimes we understand the value of that. But some other people, they don't see that value. They don't see how much effort and sacrifice has been made for them to be able to be successful. We might see that in physical, academic, job perspective, worldly perspective. But when it comes to the spiritual values, the spiritual achievements that we have, or the titles when it comes to ma'naviyat that we have, how many of us, we sat down and we thought, this achievement that I have, or me being Muslim, or me being a follower Ahlul Bayt, what had been done for me to be able to have that? This Quran that you have in your house, that you open it every day, inshallah, and you recite, every single ayah of that Quran, no, every single word of Quran that you recite, how many times you thought, how many pure soul were sacrificed ayah with ayah, word by word of this Quran, so me and you, we can have that Quran today. From the moment that Rasulullah, he has the revelation of Wahy, Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the first shuhada, Ammar and Yasir, all the way go to the shuhada up until today. How many people in pure soul would sacrifice for the sake of me and you to have some values? Us being Shia, this great, aqeedah, being, given to us chest by chest from this father to that father, from this generation to that generation to that generation, go back and forth. How many people became shaheed and sacrificed themselves for the sake of me and you today? Freely sit down here and talk about Imam Qasim alayhi salatu. Do we see that? Do we see where it's coming from? If I don't see the background, I might not know the value of that, right? But when I remember that, when I remind myself about the value of this, I see it very, very valuable that I have to take advantage of that. Most importantly, the purest life that belongs to Ahlul Bayt, our Imams, such as Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salatu wasalam, which are the best of all people from all directions, were sacrificed for the sake of the hidayat of me and you today. I mean, you personally, me personally. That becomes more, you feel more heavy responsibility here. Not our generation. No, you specifically, brother so-and-so and sister so-and-so. Your imam was in torture and in prison, and the worst scenario that you can imagine, right? Assalamu ala al-mu'azzab fi qa'r al-sujun. Mu'azzab means what? Azab, right? Qa'r means the deepest level of sujun, sijn, prisons. The prison that Mal'una Harun, he put him on, it was not a prison. Don't think about a prison. It was, it's like a dungeon. Siyah, Charlie. It was inside, down in the basement. Imam couldn't realize when is day, night, no air, nothing. Right? And you can imagine in Baghdad that it's wet. Because it's close to water. It's wet, the area. The Imam is there years and years in that situation, and not just being there, being tortured. Every single day, throughout the day, come down, Sindi ibn Shahid, Mal'un, come down to that area and start, hitting Imam with it. Sending some women to tempt Imam. That's how naive they can be. In the last prison that Imam was there, the prisoner sent a letter to Harun and says, either you come take him or free him. Whatever I see him is nothing but ibadat. That's nothing but he's always in sajda. Why do you keep him here? The purest soul like him is being sacrificed for the sake of me and you today. We have Surah Luqman, Surah so-and-so, Quran, this deen and this religion. We don't have the freedom to alternate it and give it to our children. We do not have the freedom. It's not our choice to, however I want to alternate this deen, however I want, take some part of this, some part of that, and then give it to the next generation. This is khiyanat, betraying deen. Because we have been trusted by Allah, inshallah, that we have this madhab right now. This is school of thought, right? How we judge people before us. Yeah, people at that time didn't help Imam Hussein, people of Kufa, right? Companion of Imam Hassan, right? They should have this and that. How about us? What are we doing now? So easy to judge people, right? Have the honor of being called, Shia and following. It's always impossible to be Shia and just be very comfortable. Everything is fine and no issue, no pain, no hearing something, and everything comes easily. You heard about Ali ibn Yaqtin? Is the minister of Harun at the time of Imam Kazim. With the permission of Imam, Imam says, you stay there. Harun didn't know he's Shia. Stay there, you can take care of the affairs of Shia. Stay there. Otherwise, working in the Zalim government is haram, right? Doesn't matter when. So he was there, close companion of Imam. Imagine how Imam multiple times saved his life, multiple times, by telling him, Ali ibn, be careful, Ali, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. He's very trusted by Imam. One day, one of the companions came to him to see him. Ibrahim Safwan Jamal, come to see him. He's a minister, right? He's busy. He says, I can't, I don't have time now. Next, look at the Shia Ali. Next year, Ali ibn Yaqtin goes to see Imam, goes to Medina, secretly go to see Imam. Knock on the door of the house of Imam. Bismillah, I came to see. He's mahram of the house. You can't come inside. Imam doesn't let. Second time, third time, he sat down out. I'm not going to go anywhere. If my Imam rejects me, what is left for me? If my Imam sees me in the street tomorrow, with whatever, however condition, physically, emotionally, internally, whatever situation, my outfit, there's no excuse there. I'm sorry, let me explain situation, right? And Imam, if rejects me because of my amal, is there anything else matter here? Anything else? He didn't go. Anyhow, Mom came and talked to him and says, Ali, what happened? You didn't let one of my Shia came to see you and you didn't let him come in to see you? I'm not going to see you until you go ask for forgiveness. The minister, you know what does it mean? Vice president. That means that. Go to Kufa. With the izn of Imam, he went to Kufa, knock on the door of the house of Safwan Jamal. He is the shepherd. One of the lowest job that he could have. He saw the minister and he was like, Bismillah, what are you doing here? You have to forgive me. Forgive? No, it's okay. It's not going to work this way. I know my Imam. I have to destroy myself for what I've done, my nafs. I'm going to put, Ya Allah, I'm going to put my face down on the ground in front of the house. You put your foot on my face, push it, and then say, I forgive you. You see how they treat their nafs? What they do with their nafs? So never ever next time they even think about doing this. Once he did, he came back. Imam says, now you can come in. This is Shia. This is the value of Shia. Constantly evaluating the nafs, constantly working on the nafs, constantly thinking about a'mal and actions and everything, right? Not just easily, freely, whatever, however it comes. It should be this way. That's the value that it comes, being Shia. Those who have wa'inuni bit vara'in wa ijtihadin, Amir al-Mu'min says, help me with vara', taqwa, your effort by improving your nafs, specifically when you're young. Especially when you're young. To expect more is not the opposite. No. Ahlul Bayt expect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expect more from the youth to be on the right path than the elder ones. Elders, you know yourself, right? I need you guys to work on yourself. And if you look at the companion of Ahlul Bayt, you know, the majority of them, you see that were young. What can stay, what can save and support Shia? I'll say this inshallah, we'll go to tafsir. What can save Shia, according to the tradition from Imam Qadim alayhi salatu wassalam? Allahumma salli ala improving yourself. وجدت علم الناس في أربع. علم الناس. There are 4 different ilm that are beneficial that you have to have. أولها أن تعرف ربك. علم of Allah. Ma'rifah towards Allah. Increase that. Study that. Doesn't matter if you're a housewife, you're working outside, you're inside, or your father. Improve your ma'rifah. This ayah Quran that you cite, pause. Books, speeches. Don't wait in the path of increasing. Ask him to help you to increase. This dua, that dua, this tasbih, that zik, that zik. You know? Number 1. والثاني أن تعرف ما صنع بك. Make sure you know yourself. Allahu Akbar. You start realizing and knowing yourself, who you are, your deficiencies, your weaknesses, your strength, where you need to improve yourself. Understand yourself in this path. Out of 100% of the couples that come to me for counseling, 100%, I can tell you 95% of them, they don't know themselves. That's why they're in trouble. Because they're so focused on the other one to blame, they have never had in the course of marriage to blame themselves, that maybe it's me. And it became so certain for them that is the other one's problem. Specifically in the deepest and darkest part of their lives together. You see what he did? You know what she did? Pause, go back. Sometimes your behavior forced the other one to act that way. See that too? No, that was wrong. It doesn't matter if it's wrong or right. Maybe you assisted the situation to lead to that wrong things. Right? Know yourself. Fully know yourself. When you become so busy with yourself, you don't have time to focus on other people. 3. والثالثة أن تعرف ما أراد منك. Know and learn about your responsibilities. Ma'rifat of Allah. Yourself, your responsibilities. What are you supposed to do? When I say your responsibilities, you know how profound, how deep it is. That I wake up tomorrow, I look, when I wash my face, I look at what is my responsibility today. For some people, responsibility, you know what it is? Go to work, eat, come back home. I apologize, go to the bathroom, sleep, Khuda Hafiz until next day. This is their whole responsibility. Pure responsibility, right? That's it. Half of their life be in traffic and then go Tamasida one day. This is their responsibility. For some other, they have concerns. No, I can be my responsibility. And the last one, الرابع أن تعرف ما يخرج من دينك. Learn what caused to keep you out of your deen. What would deviate you from your deen and your religion. Very interesting. Learn about what can keep you away from the deen. If I divide my day to focus on this 4, right? And what can, you know, distract you from deen? It doesn't have to be, na'uzu billah, drinking or haram, obvious haram things. No. Said this hadith, shirk can be as hidden as in a small ant under a big rock in the middle of the desert at night. That can be shirk. But from the other side, we become so, alhamdulillah, thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for letting us have this uqyanus, and this ocean of ma'arif, this ocean of beauties of Ahlul Bayt and the teachings of Ahlul Bayt and Quran in front of us. It's like everything is ready in front of you. Why you're not jumping to get and learn more? This book, that book, this study, that study. Imam al-Qasim, let's study his, lifestyle, biography, attributes. Next time, Viladat of another Imam, let's focus on that. One hadith, two hadith. Between me and you, how many Imam we had so far, Shahadat and Viladat in this year? How many we're going to have? So far, how many of you and us, we in this Viladat, at least I searched one hadith from this Imam. How many pages I read about the Viladat of that Imam? We're not talking about history. You know what I mean. Talking about learning from that. This hadith, that hadith. Let me, now that I remember this hadith from Imam Qasim alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Look how beautiful Imam says. Imam says, إِنَّ أَبْدَانَكُمْ لَيْسَ لَهَا ثَمَنٌ إِلَّا الْجَنَّةِ فَلَا تَبِئُوهَا بِغَيْرِهَا. The value of your bodies, know how much it's worth? The price of your body is Jannat. Do not sell it for cheaper than that. Do not cheap it for, when you have some valuable things, you have a ring, you have a jewelry or something, you don't know how much it is, you might sell it, cheap. I didn't know it's that. Imam says, the price of you, your thaman is Jannah. And it said Jannah is Allah's satisfaction, right? Don't sell it cheaper. We ask Allah, inshallah, help us and give us this tawfiq to, inshallah, be active more in the path of learning from our imams and ma'arif of imam, inshallah, bi barakati salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Alhamdulillah, last week we were able to finish the tafsir of Surah Hujurat, alhamdulillah, and this valuable ayat of this surah. So I was going through the different surah, pick not too long and not too short to be able to, inshallah, timely manner finish together. Came to my mind Surah Luqman, this beautiful surah that is full of teachings and points that are very, very beneficial, like other ayat, for our daily life, our spirituality, our ma'rifah and knowledge as well, inshallah. So Surah Luqman, it is Surah Makki, meaning that most of the mashhur of the mufassirin are saying this surah has been revealed to Rasulullah in Mecca. What did we say about Surah Makki and Madani? Who remembers one of the differences in the content? Anyone remembers? Ahsan. So meaning that Surah Makki, because most of the Makki at the beginning of Islam, right? The majority of the concepts are the initial concepts of Islam. About Tawheed, it's about Nabuwwat. It's very big concept that wants to teach people. But in Medina, because Islam were developed more and more and more, they were going to more details, right? To the ahkam, to the points, to the deepest level of aqaid, and so on and so forth. So this surah, we can divide it in 5 different, the content of this surah, in 5 different sections or points. One part of this surah from the beginning, it's about the Quran, the guidance of Quran, how it's a guide for the righteous people, and how about the relationship of this Quran with opposite, unrighteous people, right? Those who people were against the righteous people. So that's one section. The second section is about the creation of look at the combination of the, I'll say that at the end of this, the creation of the sky and the earth, creatures, rain, plants, everything. The third one, advices of Luqman to his son about Tawheed and Shirk. Now he's going to parenting, how he's addressing his son, what he's teaching. Luqman is one of the wisest of people and Anbiya, Quran is talking about him. And how he's addressing, it is important that Allah bring the example of Luqman as a parent, how he's talking to his son and what kind of advices he's giving to his son. Imagine Allah in his kalam is going to bring an example. such a valuable example should be. Number 4 is about the proof of Tawheed on one side. Why do we say Tawheed? The proof of Tawheed and oneness of Allah. On the other side, to disapprove when opponents come and says, no, there's no Tawheed. How are we going to disapprove their reasons as well? And finally, Ma'ad and the Day of Judgment and hereafter. Look at this 5. What comes to your mind? What do you get? And don't think too much. First thing comes to your mind, what is it? When you see this combination of these 5. Don't think too much. Just say it. First thing comes. What else? No, combination of this. So there's Tawheed, there's creation, there's some. So, what do you mean? How to spend your life. Okay, what else? I'm talking about the concept. I'm not focused on details. Sister, you can say it as well. You're focusing each of you on details. You're getting 1 point from each of these categories. I'm saying all together what comes to your mind about Quran in general, about this surah. Okay. What comes to your mind about the style of Quran in this surah? More hints. Guidance. Okay. What else? Sisters? What is it? Actions? Oh, you can't see it? It's the brother's fault, I think. Let me see if I can make it bigger. See if I can make it. What else comes to your mind? Can you guys see it now? I read it. I just read it, sister. Is it better? Okay. Let's do tadabbur. When you see all this together, what comes to your mind? I'm talking about the style of Quran. How Quran is talking to us. You're still focused on details. Let me give you a hint. Quran, Tawheed, creation, advises, parenting, logic of debates, hereafter. What comes to your mind? Try on. Look at the style of this surah. It's not just talking about one subject from the beginning to the end. It becomes so boring. Right? A little bit is talking about Quran. It's introducing what is Quran and everything. Right? The Quran with other people, you know, how they are. And then it switched to what? So it wants to attract you. It switched to what? The creation. How we're creating the world now. Let me give you more information about creation and all logic. From there it goes to aqaid, right? From aqaid it goes to parenting and advices of a father to his son. From there comes to, you see how beautifully the harmony that Quran is using to talk, to explain. This is the communication of Quran. This is an art. How Quran is articulating the points to talking. In some part talks about history. Another parts come to fiqh. Another one comes to aqaid, right? The combination of things. When we want to talk to something, right, someone, sometimes we're like a broken record. Back and forth, the same thing. You know, kids are like this. Mom, I want this. Sometimes others were like this. Not okay, okay. Oh, change it. Different style, different way of saying it, right? If you look at Nahj Balagha, the khutbah of Amir al-Mu'mineen the same way as well. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So, yeah, this is one point about, but you see the combination of almost all surah that we have there like this. Beside this, the words that Allah is using, right? The bilaghat, the eloquence of Quran is to the highest level. How, and we have to learn. We should learn about this. Let's just start. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before we move forward, so some of the ahadith about reading this ayah, this surah, let me tell you. We have hadith from Imam Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam. Imam says those who recite this surah at night, specifically Imam said 30 angels would be in charge of the hifazat and security and be in charge of that person who recites until morning. Keep this person away from shaitan and the army of shaitan. When it says shaitan, means shar, right? And those who recite this surah during the day, again, 30 angels, something is about this number, will be with this person from the morning, from whenever he recites or she recites until at noon, after night, keeps this person away from Iblis and sharraf Iblis as well. Very interesting. Many, other riwayat we have about the importance of this. But we know that when this riwayat comes, the incentives is for the sake of reciting and understanding. Tadabbur, right? It's not just reciting as well. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Probably one or two, three ayah we can cover tonight. Alif Lam Mim Tilka Ayatul Kitab al-Hakim Hudan wa Rahmatan lil Muhsinin. These are the verses of the wise book, Kitab al-Hakim, a guidance and mercy for those who are good in their deeds. Alif Lam Mim. Who know what are these letters? Huruf muqatta'ah. What are they? No one knows exactly what does it mean. It's a code between Allah and the Prophet in a specific meaning. Is it going to say this Quran is made by these letters, right? Alphabets. There are different guests that are coming. You might have heard Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad about Karbala and Atash. These are all guests, right? We don't know exactly what it is. But in this surah specifically, right after that, it says, Tilka ayatul kitab al-hakim. Right after the huruf muqatta'a, the secrets and codes come what? This book is a what? The verses of this book is what? These are the verses of this wise book, right after this huruf muqatta'a. We have 29 surah in Quran that they start with what? Huruf muqatta'a. Muqatta'a means what? For those who don't know? Cut, right? Cut. Just huruf. They don't make a letter, a word. So 29, out of 29, 24 of them, right after huruf muqatta'a comes something about Quran. About the hikmah of Quran, about the importance of Quran, right? Something is there about this as well. تلك آيات الكتاب الحكيم هدى ورحمة للمحسنين. What comes to your mind when you see this ayah? I know they can see it, right? These are verses of this wise book, the wise book, a guidance and mercy for those who are good in their deeds, muhsanin, righteous people. We're learning when we recite Quran, let's pause, let's think about it, right? Let's pause. You see how we're not used to it? We're not used to seeing what's the meaning, so that's why we have to get used to it, right? That's part of the practice we do together as well. Any points? Nice, interesting. He focused on why it says Hudan wa rahmatan lil muhsinin. Why just for righteous? Why not for unrighteous? Good point, right? One point. Let's figure it out. What is it? What do you mean? Why it says Quran Hakim? Kitab Hakim. There's hikmah in using the words in ayat, right? You can what? Who do you call Hakim? Wisdom, the wise person, right? In front of the one who just says something nonsense, right? This book is the book of hikmah. It's the book of wisdom. Whatever is in this book is based of hikmah and wisdom. right? Word by word of the Quran, is definitely there's wisdom in this that has been used. The guidance should be based on hikmah and wisdom as well. This Quran is supposed to be what? Hudan, hidayat, right? The hidayat is impossible. You want to guide someone, but you don't do it based on wisdom and knowledge. If you want to tell someone about something, make sure you know enough about it to be able to talk to them about it. If you want to explain something to someone, make sure you study yourself first. Not just, my father told me that you have to do it, so you have to do it as well. So, my mom was wearing hijab, so why? Explaining, right? Quran recitation, salat, these ahkam. The past generation, mashallah, like 50 years ago, your generation, it's different. At that generation, whatever we're coming, yes, inshallah, we should do it and accept it mostly, right? There was no question or anything. This generation is what? They're asking. That's why Amir always says, make sure you go based on the time that your children are, born in that time. We need to study. We need to learn. Hidayah comes with what? Hikmat. I can't expect you guys come here and says, brothers and sisters, just let's do this. And says, why? There should be a reason. To the point. It shouldn't be why everywhere all the time, because sometimes you don't understand why, right? But based on hikmah as well. Guidance also should come with what? Hudan wa rahmatan lil muhsinin. Guidance should come with rahmat and mercy and kindness as well. How many things we're extracting from this ayah, right? Should come with kindness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He's talking Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He keeps reminding us about His mercy, His, how merciful He is, and kindness, right? And then guiding this and that and what to do. And this book, not whoever, with whatever intention they open the book, they can find the guidance in this book. No, it's not a magic. They have to work on themselves, on their heart, to be ready to absorb the guidance of this book. It's not about the one who sends the waves. It's about what? The receiver as well. The many waves that we cannot see now here, right? Wi-Fi, sounds, a lot of things. It's about what kind of device you use compatible to that wave to receive it. Correct? The wave of guidance is everywhere. Ayat of guidance are everywhere. Depends if your device is absorbing them or not. By that I mean, if this heart is already rusted, is already layers in front of it, or this heart, this soul is reflecting the ayat of Quran or not. You go to Majlis of Imam Qasim or Imam Hussein, as soon as it says Assalamu alaikum, your heart starts bumping, feeling something in your heart. Right? You feel something. Versus someone comes, nothing going on. There's a difference between these two hearts. These two hearts are different than each other. Right? These two hearts have been in a different situation. You might see the earthquake, these pictures or movies, some of them you can't even watch it, you become so upset and why is it this way? Some people look at it as if nothing. You'll be surprised. Hudan wa rahmatan lil muhsinin. Let's get used to comparing the ayat together, right? Surah Baqarah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alif Lam Mim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ هُدًى لِلْ. Oh my God, that's Hudan lil muttaqin. Why here is Hudan lil muhsinin? See how beautiful, sweet it becomes when you get used to Quran, right? Hudan lil muttaqin. Another ayah says Hudan wa bushra lil mu'minin. Quran. Now it says Hudan lil rahmatan lil muhsinin. Is it for mu'minin? Is it for muttaqin? Or is it for muhsinin? Which one? What do you mean? Ahsant. Good point. In order to get to righteousness, right? in order to get to righteousness, the first marhala, the first level is to accept haqq wa taqwa. First ayah, hudan lil muttaqeen. You need to accept it, right? And then it comes to marhala of iman, lil mu'mineen. We talked a lot about iman, right? Then your heart should be accepting iman in order to get the guidance. And then it comes to marhala amal, muhsaneen. Righteous people are what? Those who have righteous acts and deeds. See? It's not as easy to receive the hidayat. You have to prepare yourself to receive the hidayat. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Every single day we recite, I have to understand the background, and I'm reciting for hidayat, the background of that, my heart with iman, my action and amal, right? And the marhala of, do I accept this haqq or not? الذين يقيمون, I'll finish with this inshallah. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم أولئك هم المفلحون. These people that we mention, these righteous people, this muhsaneen, who are this? How beautiful Quran is explaining itself, right? It doesn't make it vague. Remember the Surah Hujurat? When it talks about mu'mineen, it talks about what do we mean by iman? Explain it. Here it says muhsaneen. You see how clearly it's talking? Who are muhsaneen that you were talking about? الذين يقيمون الصلاة. First, what is it? Salat, right? Those who perform salat. ويؤتون, those people who pay their zakat and the charity. وهم بالآخرة هم, three characteristics. They believe in akhirah. They have faith in hereafter. Three things, right? أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. These people are on guidance given by the Lord, and these people are successful. You know. So first and foremost, look at this. If connection between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is through what? Salah. Connection with us through people is through what? Zakat. And these two almost everywhere comes together. Salat and zakat. Why do you think these two comes together? What does it have to do these two together? Oh Allah, no one else. Good. What else? God and awam nas, other people, okay? Interesting. One purifies your soul, one purifies your money and mal. Good. What else? What do you mean? The example of Amir al-Mu'minin in Salat is giving zakat as well. Ahsan. Creator and creation. Both are important. Good job. The sisters are still testing your knowledge. That's why they're quiet. We said that. That's the reason. They will complete your knowledge when you go home, inshallah. Okay. So, looks like the physical taklif that we have is the salat and other things that it's in Islam. The financial taklif, you have taklif duty. It's not that whatever we gave it to you, that's it, is yours. No, you have responsibility towards this, right? But the responsibility of heart is what? Certainty of heart. You need to work on that. Meaning that in total aspects, all your existence are responsible. Every part of you is responsible. Children, you have children, you're responsible for that day of judgment. Money you have, fi halaliha hisab. Hadith is saying, wa fi halaliha hisab means what? Tell me. In the halal money, that income that you have, there is hisab that they ask you at the day of judgment. Forget about haram. وَفِي حَلَالِهَا hisab. You have to spend. It says, this is the halal money, I made it. Now stay here. Explain how did you spend it. It's halal. How did you spend it? There's no freedom of how I want to know. Right? This is all combination. When it comes to marriage, you're responsible. At the day of judgment, you stand and say, what did you do with it? And righteous people pay attention to both aspects of their lives, like all together. Financial, spiritual, everything. It's not just me sitting in a masjid, just me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, I am responsible for those people who are in need, for for the values, for the center, for madrasa, for anything that comes, right? I'm responsible for that, to be in charge, to be able to participate in. Inshallah, we will continue this ayat. Very, very interesting surah, inshallah. As you can see, a lot of hidden points are in this ayat, inshallah. I recommend all of us to attend all the, inshallah, sessions to complete that. Go ahead, sister. MashaAllah. Doubt. Ahsant. Unseen. Yes, exactly. Ahsan, ahsan. Mm. 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 Ahsant, ahsant. One is about the heart. We said taqwa is the highest level of iman. One comes to action and amal. Now that you have, then that should lead to action and righteous action and amal. They describe, ahsan, good point, jazakumullah khaira. This comparison, you see, going back and forth. Oh, this ayah or that ayah, that comes with recitation, a lot of recitation and ponderings. Oh, that ayah with this ayah, it's like, sometimes I get to some ayat, when it's like, no, I have to do more research about this, This is interesting. I was like, that doesn't, with this ayah, how can we put together? اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والنصر ومد في أمره الشريف وزين الأرض بطول بقائه واجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وشيعته يا رحمن يا رحيم ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. Ya Allah, for the sake of our Imam Musa ibn Ja'far and those moments in the prison of Sindi ibn Shah Mal'un, away from everyone, away from the family, from the Shia, from the community. The moment that they disrespected Imam, the moment that they make him shaheed, the moment that when they brought him out on a piece of wood, Ya Allah, the Shia said that when we couldn't see any body on that piece of wood. We just saw some zanjir, some, chain on the wood, because of the body of our Imam was affected so much, was so tiny that, of course, in that situation, that's what would happen to this Imam, how they treated him in that very, very bad situation. And when that Mal'un brought him out, he says, Hada Imam al-Rafada, he's the Imam of the Rafizi and Shia. But what can they do in this situation? Ya Allah, for the sake of that Imam in that moment, in that prison, because when we say prison, we remember a lot of pain. But Alhamdulillah, although Imam was in prison, he didn't have his daughter next to him to see what happened to him. We have a daughter in prison in Kharabiya Sham who saw the head of her father. That was also a biggest musibat for the father, for the amma, for the daughter, for all of them. When that little daughter of Hussein grabbed the head of father and talked to this head. Baba John, you were not with us to see what happened to us during this time. You were not with us. How many times did it hit our Amma Zainab? How many times she made herself a shield in front of this Mal'un? And now she's quiet. Imam Qasim, it's very difficult for you, but your family didn't witness that. Your head be on spears in front of the 3-year-old. Ya Allah, Bahaq Imam Qasim. بحق Imam Hussein, hasten the dhuhr of their sons Imam Mahdi. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, we ask you, Ya Allah, we don't know, we do whatever we think this is the right and we should do. بحق Imam Kazim, Ya Allah, give us ma'rifat of Quran, ma'rifat of Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, we ask you, make our children and our generation successful in the path of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, those who have hajat and requests, بحق Imam Kazim, give them all khair hajat. Those who are under difficulties, Ya Allah, pour opportunities for their freedom. Our brothers and sisters in Syria, in Turkey, all those areas in earthquake. بحق Muhammad wa al Muhammad, provide safety and comfort for all of them. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, those who are sick, cure them. Before I finish, let's go to Qadhimain and quick salam to our Imam, inshaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. السلام عليك يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها الكاظم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا. Imam Kazim, we call him Bab al-Hawa'ij. إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا. Bring your hajat to your mind, Zuhur Imam, inshallah. يا وجيها عند الله يا باب الهوائج اشفع لنا. بسم الله. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا. One more time, Hawaij, everyone. يا وجيها اشفع لنا عند الله. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, accept all these khayril tabassalat from all of us. رحم الله من يقرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا حبيب الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين يا عصوب الدين قائد غر المحجلين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المظلوم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر. صلى الله عليك يا صاحب الزمان يا إمام الإنس والجان يا شريك القرآن يا قاطع البرهان. الأمان الأمان ورحمة الله وبركاته.